In 1872, a ship was found drifting in the Atlantic, completely intact. Its sails were set, its cargo untouched, but every single person on board had vanished. No signs of struggle, no damage, no explanation. And to this day, we still don't know why. Welcome to the Mary Celeste. On December 4th, 1872, a merchant ship named the Del Gracia spotted something unusual, drifting aimlessly in the Atlantic Ocean. At first, nothing seemed out of place. The ship, the Mary Celeste, was moving upright, her sails partially set, moving, but without direction. When they got closer, they realised something wasn't right. There was no one on deck, no crew, no captain, and no sign of life. So, they boarded. What they found only deepened the mystery. The cargo was still there. Over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, untouched. The crew's personal belongings, still in place. There was food, water, and supplies, enough for months. Even the captain's valuables hadn't been taken. It was as if everyone had simply stood up and left. The only things missing were a single lifeboat and the ship's navigation instruments, the sextant and the chronometer. These are the tools you'd need to survive if you left the ship. And the last recorded entry in the logbook was from 10 days earlier. There was no distress signal and no damage to the ship. So what could have made an entire crew abandon a perfectly seaworthy vessel in the middle of the ocean? Well, to understand the mystery, we need to understand the people who disappeared. At the centre of it all was Captain Benjamin Briggs, an experienced sailor, well respected and known for being cautious and deeply religious. This wasn't a reckless man chasing danger, this was someone who avoided it. And he wasn't alone. On board the Mary Celeste was his wife Sarah and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. Now this is a family at sea, travelling together. Alongside them were 7 crew members, all experienced, all capable, and all men who knew the ocean and how to survive it. This wasn't an untrained crew, which likely means that there wasn't any panic from inexperience. These were people who understood the sea better than most. The Mary Celeste had set sail from New York, heading from Genoa, Italy, a routine journey carrying industrial alcohol across the Atlantic. So nothing unusual, and there was no warnings, no sign that anything was wrong. And yet, somewhere between departure and discovery, something had changed. So what could have made an experienced captain abandon a perfectly seaworthy ship? Over the years, several theories have been put forward. The most widely accepted explanation involved the ship's cargo, over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol. So some of those barrels were later found to be leaking, which raises a possibility: what if fumes began building inside the ship? So for those of you that don't know, an experienced captain would understand that that's a serious risk. Alcohol vapour is highly flammable. One spark and the entire ship could be lost. So perhaps Briggs made a decision. Evacuate the ship temporarily using a lifeboat, stay nearby, wait for the danger to pass, and then return. But if that was the plan, something went wrong. Other theories point to the sea itself. Not a violent storm, but something more deceptive. Sudden water spouts, unpredictable swells, or what's known as a rogue wave. Enough to frighten a crew, but not enough to leave lasting damage. If the ship took on water, even briefly, it might have felt like the beginning of the end, and in that moment, abandoning ship might have felt like the safer option. Then there's a possibility of simple human error. With the ship's navigation tools missing, it suggests one thing clearly: they didn't expect to return quickly. But out there in the open ocean, distance is deceptive, and currents are unpredictable. What feels like a short separation can become permanent very quickly. Now, each of these explanations makes sense on its own, but none of them fully explain what happened. Because if this was a controlled evacuation, why was the ship left in such good condition? And why was there never any trace of the people who left it? The Mary Celeste was eventually recovered and brought safely to shore. The ship survived, but the people did not. No bodies were ever found, there was no wreckage and no confirmed sightings. Just absence. And that's what makes this different. There was no violence, no destruction, just disappearance. An experienced captain, a capable crew, a family travelling together, just gone. So we can explain the ship, we can explain the cargo, we can even explain why they may have left, but we can't explain what happened after. And maybe that's why this story has lasted for so long, because it doesn't give us an ending. No closure, no resolution, just a question that's been drifting for over 150 years. So, what really happened to the Mary Celeste? If you've got your own theory, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to like and subscribe, ring the bell for future videos. It really does help Darklight to grow and get these videos out to other people who may enjoy them. Until next time, remember, question everything, keep safe, Toodles.